and fighting in the streets to bring Mahmoud home and prevent this level of repression from spreading to many others, as the administration has threatened to do.
Why not argue the merits in court today, sir? The judge invited repeatedly.
Thank you, Bahid. Now we'll hear from Professor Joseph Hawley, an associate professor at Columbia University.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Hawley, Howley, and I'm an associate professor of classics at Columbia University. The last time I spoke at a press conference was April 18th. That day, police officers in crowd control gear entered our campus for the first time in decades and carried off dozens of students who were peacefully and quietly encamped on one of the enclosed lawns in front of our library, threatening no one. As I watched this unfold in horror, I was asked to speak at an emergency press conference alongside Mahmoud, who had just been asked to negotiate on behalf of the encampment. It is always dangerous to speak in public for Palestinian rights, safety, and freedom with your face uncovered and your name declared. You can be sure you will be harassed, doxxed, terrorized. People will try to get you fired from your job for to my employer. When I step down from here, I will publish these remarks to protect me from the inevitable attempts to misrepresent my words. And Mahmoud, as a student negotiator, took these same risks and many more. Mahmoud is a man of decency, honor, and kindness. He has distinguished himself in his work as an advocate and negotiator, as someone committed to peaceful resolution of difficult situations. He is a consummate diplomat in his disposition and his character. What the Trump government is doing to Mahmoud is obscene. It is unreasonable, intolerable, unconstitutional. So why do they think they can get away with it? The Trump administration is betting that Americans will happily look the other way as one more Palestinian is victimized here on American soil. They are betting that when you hear Mahmoud's name or the word Palestinian, the parts of you that make you a thinking and rational and caring person will switch off, and you will believe the worst about him, and you will turn a blind eye to these grave violations of his rights. And after what I've seen over the last year and a half, I'm not sure they're wrong. Anti-Palestinian groups have spent all year casually leveling the most dangerous accusations on the flimsiest grounds, and members of our own community have repeated them. Don't like seeing a kafia? Call them a terrorist and call the cops. Don't like their views? Call them anti-Semitic and get them expelled. Don't like that your Jewish colleague has the chutzpah?
CBS News 24/7 outside the courtroom where those arguments.
The guy in the back is saying, we love Trump. And he's trying to, apparently there were people that were at that protest. They're saying that he was like antagonizing people, trying to fight them, trying to start fights and shit. That's what happened.
About Mr. Mahmoud Khalil played out. And now we have an opportunity to talk to somebody who was on the inside of that courtroom. Let's bring it over now to CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman outside that Manhattan courthouse. You were just in the courtroom. Obviously, the perspectives we just heard were very much in favor of Mr. Khalil. What can you tell us about those arguments that happened in court today?
So,
Reed, this really wasn't a hearing where we were hearing about the merits of this case. And it's actually interesting because the judge expressed surprise about that there was no discussion about the merits or about bail for Khalil. So the real things that they were discussing are, there's a threshold issue of the jurisdiction. Mahmoud Khalil is currently at a detention center in Louisiana. He was arrested in New York. In between, he was brought to New Jersey. And what the government says is that the Southern District of New York is not the proper forum for this to be taking place. Khalil's attorneys have asked for him to be returned to the city. So that's going to be a key thing that needs to be decided here. Another thing that came up that was interesting is that Khalil's attorneys talked about the fact that they have not had proper access to their client since he was brought to this detention center in Louisiana.
They cut the speech to talk about some shit, but anyway, here.
Hi everyone, my name is Shaza Abushi Dallal, that's SHEZZA-ABBOUSHI-DALLAL. I am a staff attorney with the CLEAR Project and one of Mahmoud Khalil's attorneys, and I will be reading a statement on behalf of Mahmoud Khalil's wife, who does not wish to be named. My husband was kidnapped from our home, and it's shameful that the United States government continues to hold him because he stood for the rights and lives of his people. I demand his immediate release and return to our family. His disappearance has devastated our lives. Every day without him is filled with uncertainty, not just for me, but for our entire family and community. Our loved ones are struggling with the pain and fear of his sudden absence. And yet, we are not alone. So many who know and love Mahmoud have come together, refusing to stay silent. Their support is a testament to his character and to the deep injustice of what is being done to him. Thank you.
A big win for.
So, before we get to Chuck Schumer, I do want to show you at least like the one Democrat that we've seen. Asmongosa, anyone like Khalil should just go home. Yeah, I know. We saw. Okay. It's a incredibly stupid position, and incredibly inconsistent with at least the way he presents himself as a defender of free speech. Obviously, he's not. But that revelation is only new to you if you, I guess, like previously held this conviction. You thought that he truly was a free speech advocate. I mean, look, the guy has literally done numerous videos. The guy has literally done numerous fucking videos on how Trump is defending, is a based free speech defender, while also simultaneously advocating for the deportation of a person that directly violates free speech. Here, let's take a look at what he had to say. I want to hear what he had to say. This is the largest political commentator on this fucking platform. Let's see what his opinion is on this issue. He titled it, "Terrorist Simps Are Out of Control."
Any reasonable ground to believe he would have a potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequence. And you mentioned he's a resident alien. He can be deported under U.S. law for if the Secretary of State has any reasonable ground to believe he would have a potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequence. And you mentioned the student organization. The student organization put out. Let me finish.
But before you move on, because I think that's a really important point, right? That's the statute that they're using. Have you seen any evidence to suggest that there is actually a serious reason to believe that this student is going to be a threat to national security?
I mean, I've certainly watched the abomination that's gone on at Columbia and Barnard and other places, and I will just tell you,
threat to national security?
And I'll just tell you that his
absolutely.
And also, being a threat to national security is not the only expectation. A person could be dangerous. Like, I think that, like, saying a threat to national security is an attempt to minimize his behavior in order to justify defending him. The fact is, this person paid lip service and was part of an organization that promoted a terrorist organization. He was a leader of the organization. Playing it down, yeah, this is, again, is it? Do you guys see this? This happens constantly. The exploitation and the intentional manipulation of language is one of the most pervasive and...
Bro, you're doing that right now by saying this person, terrorism, making this person out to be a terrorist ringleader is quite literally what you claim Scott Jennings is doing here, which is ironic because you agree with him. You just said this dude, without any evidence whatsoever, you're like, this dude is a ringleader of a terrorist group. He's offering support to a terrorist group. The fuck is a terrorist group? What even is a terrorist group? Like, what do you mean by that? What has this group done, for example? Do you have any evidence to back up this claim whatsoever? Do you have any evidence that Mahmoud Khalil has offered material support to a terrorist group? No, of course not. Can an American legal permanent resident even offer material support to a terrorist group? Yeah, they have in the past, like the IRA. Plenty of Irish Americans have offered material support and even trafficked weapons into Ireland, okay, during the Troubles, and I didn't have an issue with that. And I still think it was a good thing that Americans did that, including American congresspersons, as a matter of fact, okay? The idea of just like simply saying, well, this is a terrorist group. This guy likes terrorism. This guy likes bad guys is fucking ridiculous. You're not making an argument at all. You're just simply repeating what the State Department is saying.
I would say subversive tools that a lot of people use that is extremely persuasive to people that don't have a lot of like, I would say like verbal intelligence. And you see this happen, and it doesn't get explained very often because most people honestly straight up don't understand it.
I'm not going to let you move on because this is the
I'll tell you why it's a threat to national security if you let me answer you.
Well, Scott.
Do you want me to answer you or not?
Okay.
His organization says we are dedicated fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization.
Okay.
He's not a citizen.
Okay.
What are you talking about? What is this statement? That's not even, the total eradication of Western civilization. Number one, there is no evidence whatsoever that this person has ever said that, or even if it was real or not. It turns out it wasn't fucking real. Okay? That literally was just a falsehood. He has spread a falsehood. Yes, I watch a bunch of like OSINT Twitter Andes. They actually tracked down the supposed flyer that had said that. Okay? And they found out that it was just made up, not real. Now, having said that, what the fuck does that mean? There are people that actively champion neo-Nazi causes. You still can't fucking deport them unless they have actually agitated or moved in the direction of doing a heinous crime. The bar, deportation, or the revoking of a person's green card, legal permanent resident. What the fuck? Fresh. That was a Twitch server side issue. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Twitch today. It was not on my end at all.